we've been streaming these meditations for almost a year now. I'm trying to find my notes, and we've been doing it at the center. We run a live class or a live gathering, meditation gathering, and then we just put a camera in front, and then we stream it and put it on YouTube. And with this, what we're calling, I really like the name social distancing situation. The social distancing situation has made this kind of electronic broadcasting, this streaming, much more useful, so that we can still give people an opportunity to meditate and not be in large groups. They're asking people not to be in groups over 10, and it's kind of hard to hold a meditation a group under 10 that when you've been running it for 9 years or so. So we decided for the next couple of weeks anyway, actually I've decided to just make it streaming for the Wednesday night, and then I'm sure we'll resume things after this scare and after the social distancing thing is no longer a factor, and something that we're probably all looking forward to. And I addressed some of this last week in relation to fear. We talked about what fear is and how fear is truly, false evidence appearing real. And that acronym is spot on. It really is, because any kind of fear that we have isn't found in the present moment. It just is not found in the present moment. And the present moment is the really only true reality that we have. We know this. We forget this constantly. We hear something on the news about something happening in the world, and we have this fear come up, and it feels like it's coming up now, but actually what is happening when we really examine it, we notice that we are fearful of what might happen in the future. For example, this coronavirus thing. I'm not here to talk about this coronavirus, but in relation to fear, it's incredible that there is so much fear behind it. I mean, don't you think so? This false evidence, first of all, it's false because it's not real. It's not in the present moments. It's based on what might happen in the future. Very few people, compared to other colds and flus, have actually had any difficulties with this coronavirus. And we hear the possibility of it spreading, but we don't know this. We don't have these facts. We don't have the evidence. This is actually very, very false evidence that appears real because we hear it from a different source, a source that we trust, and it's certainly not real. False evidence appearing real. It's just appearances. Appearances is a visualization. It's an image. It's actually a mirage. We can't trust what we see. The only thing that we can really trust is what is happening with us in this moment. Nothing out there but what is happening inside. And the practice that goes along with that and coincides with that is meditation itself. In meditation, we're shutting down the senses. We find ourselves in a nice quiet room, and we bring ourselves to a place where we can close our eyes without being silly, or being in the middle of a city or something like that, closing our eyes. And there's quietness, there's a nice temperature. We're tampering things down a little bit so that we have this ability to go within. And we're going within to experience reality, to experience the truth, our true nature, who we really are in this moment, not from something that had happened, that we had heard, or something that we think might happen in the future. This is anger and ill will and fear that we don't actually have to live in that world, particularly when we're meditating, when we have this practice of meditation. That's one of the reasons, that meditation is so healthy and such a worthy activity, is because it points out the truth of who we are, the truth of what is happening in the moment. And so, I admit I kind of drank the Kool-Aid. I pulled back on holding the meditation gatherings for a few weeks, like the majority, many meditation teachers have done this. Just because of they're asking us not to bring together groups of people, not even in restaurants or bars or anything like that. And I think this is going to blow over in a couple of weeks. People will get tired of this exciting news, this stuff that is happening, and life will carry on the way it normally carries on. Somebody might get a little sniffly nose, fine, but they're not going to die. Nobody's going to die from this coronavirus that I know or that you know or anything like this. It's just a big scare. Enough about that. Again, meditation is probably one of the most healthiest things I've ever done for myself. I've been going through some medical things lately, and that's one of the reasons that I've been asked to distance myself from people for a little while. And because of some of the results of these modalities and these cures that I've been seeking, through different hospitals and things like that. But when we speak of meditation, I've been doing a lot of meditation lately. Today I probably meditated about 4 hours as I was going through treatments. And it really drove home that this is really a wonderful practice, a very healing practice. And I think one of the wonderful things about it is that we don't have to have any activity at all. We don't have to be doing something special, to actually appreciate who we are in the moment. We don't have to be somebody special to appreciate what is happening and who we are. There's a great deal to learn by closing our eyes and going into meditation. There's a great deal to understand. There's a great amount of clarity that can be had. And all these things are so beneficial that I truly believe that if everybody was a meditator in the world, we certainly wouldn't be facing the fears that are happening now, or the disorientation, or the social distancing situation, that we're experiencing. People would be more grounded. And I suggest that people try it. If you are a meditator, and you probably are since you're watching this, please take this moment to spread the practice to as many people as you possibly can. Because if people are afraid, and they need something like meditation to ground themselves, to have that clarity of mind, and to really see that falseness that is around them, completely surrounding them. That fear and the falsicity, is that a word, of the situation. False evidence appearing real. And again, meditation points that out, and I would like to lead us through a meditation. I'm going to be doing a fair amount of guiding, and I'll take this to as close to 8 o'clock Mountain Standard Time, Arizona time, as possible. And we'll see where we're at from there. This is generally, the Wednesday evening meditation is generally a good hour and a half gathering. Since this is strictly online, we'll see what happens. I'm not going to make any promises that it's going to last an hour and a half. I want everybody to be comfortable. I'm going to give you a nice, healthy dose of meditation, and I hope you enjoy it. Again, I'm sorry if you're having trouble logging in from the meditation website, Meditation Learning Center website, and that I truly hope that everybody can go to YouTube and catch this. So please position yourself. You don't have to be in front of the video screen or the screen, but just so that you can hear what I'm saying, it would be most beneficial. And please make yourself comfortable, whether you're in a chair, if you're on a meditation cushion, wonderful. Straighten your back and close your eyes. Take a nice deep breath. Slowly exhale. Do this again. Really feel the breath within you. Slowly exhale. Another nice deep breath. Gentle exhale. If you're following my instructions during that very short breathing exercise, you are experiencing the present moment. Your attention went to the body. Your attention probably went to the breath, if you were doing it correctly and actually following instructions. If not, do it again. Take a nice deep breath. Slowly exhale. Notice where your attention went. Where did your awareness go? To the breath, to the body, and to the present moment. So we're using the body as an instrument, as a tool to come into that presence. In the same way that in a moment I'll ask you to bring your attention to the breath itself, not the breathing, just the breath. And in doing so, in essence, what I'm asking you to do is bring your attention to the present moment. Present moment awareness is the only true reality that's happening at this moment. Anytime that we feel any kind of anxiety, we are not present. Anytime we're experiencing any kind of fear, we're not present. We're thinking of the future. What may be, what might happen. If we bring our attention back to the present moment, we realize that everything is fine. And everything always will be fine, as long as we are present. Feeling anxiety, even feeling stuck, is not the present moment. Feeling stuck is either being stuck in the past or feeling stuck that we cannot move into the future. But that does not happen in the present moment. If we have to deeply investigate and analyze this, and in doing so, we'll see that we are stuck in an activity of the past. Something is limiting us and holding us back. Something within us, nothing out in the world, is limiting us in any way. It's only within us. And that's a perfect time to come into the present moment. Because from this place, this is a place of creativity. Present moment is a place to move forward from. The present moment is completely the opposite of fear and anger, this fight and flight mechanism that we have. Fight and flight is not a place for creativity. It's not a place for peace. It's not a place for clarity of mind. It's not even a place of love. It's a place of anxiety, struggle, stress, and fear. We can prove this to ourselves again and again and again. Now bring your attention to the breath. And bringing your attention to the breath, you're bringing your attention to the present moment. This is a place of healing, a place of insight, it's a place where we can develop concentration, intuition, inspiration, all without even applying effort, by just resting in it. These things happen naturally. So in bringing your attention to the breath, find this place where the breath touches the body. Where does the air connect with the body? For most people, it's around the tip of the nose or the sinuses. And try using that as your focal point. Breathing in, breathing out. We're not manipulating the breath. We're not concerned about anything except for this practice of meditation. We're trying to keep the body as still as we can while being comfortable and relaxed. We're accepting everything as it is in this present moment. And by resting in this present moment, we have a keen ability to let go of anything that is causing any kind of attachments for us. Any thoughts that come by, we just let them go by. No attachment. We have an idea about something, we just let it go. No attachment. We have a memory of something that we heard today or yesterday, and we let it go. No attachment. We hear a sound, like the rain against the window. We just let it go. No attachment. From this place of presence, This is where life seemingly begins for us. Because there is no past. It's only created in the mind. It's a memory, and it's probably not even a truthful memory. It's a distorted recall of some sort. And we have no way of even imagining how our future will be. If we can let go of the need to have control of the future and have control of the way we want things to be, it's like taking off the proverbial backpack that we've been carrying around all of our life. So particularly in this moment, accept and learn to let go. Accept every situation as it is, and be able to let go of everything that might cause any kind of stickiness or attachment for our lives, within our lives. Sit in silence for a few moments. As recently stated, the present moment feels like the place that we originate from. It's like our birthplace because of the lack of any kind of past. There are valuable lessons that we've learned from the past. And there's negative situations that we've encountered from the past. All of these things can have benefits. But all of it is maintained within the mind in the form of memories. All of it has happened. And it won't happen again, not in the same way. So imagine that This present moment is your launching pad. Everything from this moment on forward is brand new, because it is. We can't predict our future. For the most part, we know there will be a future. We can accept our now, this present moment as it is, with the realization that we can create from this place. So do we want to create a future with fear? Or do we want to create a future with openness and understanding and love? All of this can start right now. Nothing on the outside has to change for us to be 100% complete in this moment. People can be panicking. People can have uncertainty. People can even be suffering. But within the mind and the body of each of us in this present moment, there is a stillness and a completeness that is beyond words. As long as we remember that this is here and allow ourselves to use it and come back to it again and again and expand these moments of presence. Expand these moments of pure consciousness. These moments of love, spirituality. These moments of going within. These moments of mindfulness. So how do you want your future to be? Do you want to create from a place of fear or anger? Or do you want to create from this place of presence? And the creating is effortless. Because it's simply looking at what is happening in the present moment and taking that forward. Being completely honest with yourself and open. And realizing your true nature, who you are beyond your past and beyond your belief of the future or somebody else's belief of your future. At this point, don't let the mind wander off. Keep bringing your attention back to the breath. And see if you can sit here with me for the next 20-25 minutes in silence. Bring your attention to the breath. When you notice your attention wanders off, Just simply bring it back, knowing that this is absolutely normal. The intention or the awareness will have a tendency to go off in many different places, almost always the past or the future. And this is your practice. To notice the past, notice the future, where the mind is headed, and bring it back to the present moment by using the body in some way as a tool. I suggest using the breath. Using the breath as a focal point. Bring your attention back again and again, very gently, very lovingly. Bring your attention back to the breath. It's perfectly normal that it would wander off. People that have been meditating for 10 or 20 years still have to be reminded to come back to the breath. Coming back home. Coming back to the present moment. Stay with the practice a few more minutes. Find that present moment awareness and expand upon it. Stay with the practice. That's why they call meditation a practice, a formal practice of meditation. It's conditioning our minds to come into the present moment, to be more aware, to be mindful. To be happier in general, to feel complete with life. There's many ways to say and talk of the present moment reality. This practice of going within. And again, is the ultimate truth, the ultimate understanding of who we are, beyond the fluctuations of the mind, the past, and the future. Anytime we have trouble, difficulties with life, or even difficulties meditating, difficulties doing this practice, is because the mind wishes to be elsewhere, into the past or the future. This is very common because we've been allowing the mind to do this for all of our lives. It's just natural. It's a habit. Meditation is a practice of breaking that habit. Being a little bit stringent, perhaps, but more so conditioning the mind like conditioning the soil of a garden, getting it ready for positive things, for good things, for growth, for advancement. So meditation is like conditioning the ground and fertilizing it at the same time, getting ready to plant. So please understand that we're using the body as a tool to bring ourselves into this present moment. There's not necessarily anything sacred about the breath, or sacred or spiritual about the body. But in this case, we're using it as a focal point, as a tool to be present, to show ourselves the truth. And this is meditation. Thank you. May each one of us and all beings be well, happy, and peaceful. May no harm come to us. May no difficulties come to us. And may we all meet with spiritual and worldly success. And may we have the patience, the courage, to complete and overcome any problems or any difficulties that we might face in life. Again, thank you for sharing this meditation with me. The theme, I always put out a theme, or what I call an invitation, and this evening was more of a invitation to look at our true nature and to look beyond fear. Something that we touched on last week as well. If you're not familiar with these streams, you'll be able to easily find, I think on YouTube, you'll be able to easily find last week's meditation. And it was titled, What is Fear, I believe. And again, we touched on that here, but more from a standpoint of present moment reality. And the idea that when we are present, there is no fear, and that this fear that we experience is just created by the mind. In fact, any kind of anxiety, stress, any difficulties whatsoever, we create ourselves. Nobody else creates it. Nothing out there creates it. It's just simply something that we are drawn into. It might even be a habit for us, and something that we identify with, that this is my world, this is my suffering, this is my situation, and this is my life, and that can all be changed. That's the wonderful thing about it. This is, we could look at it from the standpoint of that this is life. This is what's happening at the moment. I don't have to identify with it. Doesn't have to be someone to identify with any of this. It is playing out much like a movie. If we relinquish and give up that attachment to being in control, it's very relieving. We mentioned that earlier. And probably the biggest thing of all is that we practice this during the day and not get drawn into the media, not get drawn into what our past emotions have told us, not get drawn into what we hear, what we think. See the thoughts from an outside observer for the most part. Not like Spock, where we aren't reactive to emotions. It's not what I'm talking about at all. Emotions can be very valuable. But when we see the truth of the emotions, usually they're not anything near what we think they are when we see the reality of what is happening. And that is that we are creating this in the mind. We can have a beautiful, lovely, exciting life, and I hope you do. I do. It doesn't necessarily have to be filled with emotion. It can, but a person doesn't have to try to tap that down. Again, it's just that the emotion that we experience from the standpoint of the present moment is nothing that necessarily has to be broadcast. It can be felt within. Meditation allows all this to be understood and experienced. I invite you, and maybe next week I'll find a way to be able to answer some questions that you might have on these streams that you've typed in. But right now I'm not set up for that. I would lose the program that I have for the streaming right now if I got into any questions that people have. The reason I say that is because I'm not asking people to necessarily believe this by what I am saying, but I want you to believe it by your own experience. Of course, you want to experience this for yourself. You don't want to believe anything that I'm saying or anything that anybody else is saying, but by your own experience. And that's why I teach meditation in the first place, because meditation can show this to a person if they give it a chance. If they practice consistently, go into the present moment and see what's there. Just sit in that, rest in it. You know, find that completeness, experience it. So I appreciate you checking this out. This is a little bit shorter than our normal Wednesday evening meditation group that we have in Mesa, Arizona. Usually we have a little Q&A afterwards. I've had a very, very long day, and like I said, I already meditated many, many hours today. And I feel good, I feel energized, but I do feel as if I continue talking, the words will only get in the way, you know, so to speak, and I'm sure you understand what I mean. So thank you very much for tuning in. If you have any questions, please email me at shane@meditationlearningcenter.com, and please tune in next week. I'll try to make sure that the link to the Meditation Learning Center website connects somehow. I'll try to figure that out and see if there's any glitches or see what happened there. Otherwise, I'll definitely be on YouTube, and you can always find me on YouTube. Maybe the best way is to go to Shane Wilson Meditation, and then you'll find the live streams. There's a recorded videos, and then there's another tab that says live streams or live videos, and that's the one that you want to click on to watch these. So this video will be slightly edited and then replayed. It will be placed in the other area of like embedded videos. So I hope that's understandable. So again, thank you all for very, very much for watching. I love you. Please, no fear. All right? Thank you.